Go.
Okay, welcome everybody. My name is Peter Weiler, and I will be your host today for the DVMUG Zoom meeting for March 17th, 2026. Happy St. Patrick's Day. Unfortunately, my green shirt was in the laundry, so I'm wearing blue today. But I did brighten up the background colors for the slides we're going to be showing you. We'll start with news from Apple for the week and follow that with some videos. You can see them listed right now on the splash screen. Um, After that, there will be an opportunity for you to ask questions and get answers for your Apple, iPhone, Mac questions, anything related to Apple. And there are many people who come to these meetings who are very knowledgeable and can be very helpful. And if there's any time left after that, we'll have a bit of time, a chance to socialize. But let's go ahead and get started with the week's news. John Sobrero has kindly put the links to the news articles in the chat. Um, you also will have links for the videos that will be shown later. Um, we don't have time to really read the entire articles, review them, and so I encourage you to take a look at anything that strikes your interest here. You can just click on the link and it'll pull you right to the particular articles in question. Let's go to the first one. Tim Cook kicks off Apple's 50th anniversary celebration. Hard to believe, but Apple's been in business for 50 years now. Uh, we can subtract 50 from our age and realize how old we were when the Apple II hit the market, or it might have been a year or so after that. But at any rate, it's been quite a few 50 years. Tim Cook, the CEO for Apple, is has written a letter and it celebrates this. You can get the article on the link below. But this particular article is from Apple Insider by William Gallagher, and he just talks about how Apple is reflecting on its first 50 years and their rather unique way that they got started. Um, I've gone ahead and taken a picture of the letter that he wrote. That's on the left. You'll be able to read it when you take a look at the link, but the very bottom ends with, and you might recognize this. So here's to the crazy ones, the misfits, the rebels, the troublemakers, the round pegs and the square holes, the ones who see differently. Here's to you, Tim Cook. And being a educator for my profession, working mostly at the high school level, I'm actually glad that Tim added the ly to the differently because Apple does like to think different. So, are there any comments or questions? Okay, we'll move on. So, this second article talks about a couple chat boxes that you may or may not be familiar with. Chat GPT was probably the first one to just get very popular. And there's another one out right now called Claude. And it's turning out that they're doing more than was expected to begin with. This article from 9 to 5 Mac by Zach Hall talks about how they are embracing learning through interactive visualizations, going beyond the text-only interface that's come into vogue with the large language models, LLM, that are basically the foundations of artificial intelligence. So, at any rate, I thought it would be of interest to play what is a very short little clip that was produced by Claude, and it'll give you an idea of what they mean by interactive learning. But you have to watch with fast eyes because it moves right along. Any thoughts about that one?
Is there
What
supposed to be video? I mean, audio.
what was it we were supposed to see?
I think it had to do with the interaction between Andrea, supposedly the lady on the computer, and the computer itself, and how it was expanding on topics and so forth. But it
Hmm.
runs so fast, it's kind of hard to read the back and forth. Uh, you know,
No, what it was showing was that it wasn't just responding in text, it was creating graphics to represent its responses. But like you said, it was going so fast, it was really hard to tell what was going on. It was
yeah,
you
I think,
certainly couldn't read the stuff as fast as it was up and gone. Almost
yeah,
seemed like it was playing in high speed or something.
right. And it wasn't just graphics, Kenji, it was also
Animations,
engaging in the conversation in a
right?
way that you wouldn't just get with standard text back and forth.
Well, I'm taking an intro to computer science class now, and learning coding in Python, and um, and I've been using both ChatGPT and to a lesser degree um, shit, I just the
Claude.
Google one, Gemini, um,
Oh, okay.
and um, and showing it, you know, doing screen grabs and putting the screen grab in and saying, I don't understand this question, or and it's been proving to it's responding in text. It can create graphics, but mostly responding in text. But it's really great. It's makes great immediately available tutors. So it's not just like a Google query where you get a response. It's interactive. You can go back and forth. Say, yeah, but I don't quite understand that part. Okay, I can expand on that. It's really helpful. I mean, I would say it's made my class, which is already interactive with a online tutoring program. It's not live classes. Um, it's made it like 4 times better
Mhm.
because it can
And,
walk me through.
and they're calling it an interactive learning tool, for lack of a better term. So yeah, I think that describes it. Anyone else? Okay, well, let's go ahead and move on. So that's the latest. Moving back 13, 14 years, the iPhone 5 reaches the end of the line as Apple declares it obsolete. So if you have an Apple or an iPhone 5, which was put out for sale in 2012, that's great. And it probably still works pretty well as a phone, I would imagine. But Apple is no longer going to be repairing it or supporting it with updates. And so it's kind of reaching the end of its, as Apple says, usable lifespan. Um, well, I should, maybe it's Andrew Orr who said that. Um, at any rate, um, farewell to the iPhone 5. Are there any comments or questions?
So at the end of that, it says moved it from vintage to obsolete. What is the vintage category mean? Does that mean they still have parts and updates for it?
Yes, although I don't know in detail what the categories of Apple gives to its products. But yeah, it still will service vintage ones. That's a given. But beyond that, it won't. Anyone else? Okay. So Apple's cheapest MacBook might also be the easiest one to repair. Um, and this is kind of interesting. One of the complaints I've gotten from PC users, especially the power ones who like to open up their computers and pull out components and replace them, expand on them, or whatever, is that it's really hard to do that with Apple computers. And yet, at this point in this article by Rashish Pandey of Cult of the Mac, the MacBook Neo, which was made to be an affordable MacBook at just under $600, is created in a way that's a lot easier to service. So you have modular components. They're held together with screws rather than glue. Um, just it means that I think it's a lot cheaper for Apple to actually produce these as well and to fix them as well. So it is the most affordable MacBook, so it's not going to have a lot of, the um, far end features. It doesn't have a backlit keyboard, um, no force touch on its trackpad, and so forth. But at any rate, this is positive as far as, for the people who like to really get in and work and fix their devices, kind of the sort of stuff that DVMUG does. Are there any comments or questions?
Yeah, where are people supposed to get the parts
I would
to
assume
do
from
that
Apple,
themselves?
but
eBay. When stuff gets old, people part out computers that have something wrong with them. They part them out. You can get almost anything for an older piece of MacBook parts.
But under the Apple self-repair program, you should be able to get parts directly from Apple, shouldn't you?
For the supported, yeah, well, they're still supported, but they're expensive.
mhm.
Nobody said that easier equaled cheaper.
Cheaper to produce and sell maybe, but not necessarily for parts.
The teardown video that I saw, it's a lot of screws.
A lot of screws. The battery isn't glued in, but it's got like 20 screws.
Are you
Yeah,
talking about the Mac
Neo.
Neo?
Yeah.
yeah.
I hate doing the batteries on the glued in ones, but they're doable.
Right. And I've I've watched as one of the DVMUG techs was pulling the piece from the, it's glued in position from the circuit board. Yeah, it can be done.
A lot of screws before you get to the battery.
I'm not sure. Most MacBooks have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 12 screws on them, on the backs. Almost all of them are all the same. They're probably similar. I don't know why it would be different.
Now
Sometimes
watch the new teardown video. You'll see
more on just to take the
one's
back
out
off than
there.
12. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I-
one thing I said, they say they're using standard screw tips, and they said they have, I mean, Apple was using Torx, and then they had a Pentalope, which was a 5-star, was proprietary to Apple. I think they stopped doing that. That was a phone, that's a phone thing, the Pentalope 5-star. They
Right.
did that on some
I
MacBooks.
went back to the text that I had written because it mentions that it's even possible to replace the keyboard without
Yeah,
changing the top case or the small motherboard,
right.
for what that's worth.
That would definitely be cheaper.
Mhm. Okay, shall we move on?
Yep.
Okay, I have one more article for you. This is about F1, the movie. Haven't seen it myself, but at the Oscars, it won Apple's first Academy Award in 3 years, Best Sound. And this, Apple revamped its film strategy evidently in 2024, but in 2025, they received 0 nominations at the Oscars. So with Monday's Oscars, they got 6 nominations. They're listed here. F1 had 4 of them: Best Picture, Best Sound, Best Visual Effects, and Best Editing. And then 3 other Apple films: The Lost Bus was nominated for Best Visual Effects also. And I mean, Come See Me, another movie, Come See Me in the Good Light was nominated for Best Documentary Feature Film. So at any rate, 6 nominations for 2026 is quite a coup. Any comments or questions?
I didn't see it in the theaters, but I had high expectations for F1, and it was okay. I didn't think it was nearly as thrilling as I thought it would be.
I agree. It was a grade B movie with not a very good story.
Hmm. Well, in my opinion, the story is the most important piece. So there you go. But then it wasn't for story, it was for best sound that it got its
Yeah.
its award.
Mhm.
Okay. Moving on to this week's videos. So this is the list that you can download and click links on for each of these videos. We'll start with one by Gary Rosenwig of MacMost on how to protect your Mac from malware. That's an important topic. I try to keep these videos under 10 minutes. This one is about 9.5. But although there's a long list of videos here, some of them are short, and the whole list is not much more than half an hour. So let's get started.
Hi, this is Gary with MacMost.com, and here's a quick guide to protecting your Mac from malware. So protecting your Mac from malware is relatively simple as long as you follow 3 rules. The first rule is by far the most important. Don't download software from sources you shouldn't trust. Notice the emphasis here is on sources. You should, of course, trust the app itself, either by its reputation or by researching it. But what's more important is to trust the source. Even if it's a good app, if you're not downloading it from the App Store or directly from the developer or publisher of that app, you could be getting malware instead, or perhaps getting the real app, but with malware coming along for the ride. A lot of people mistakenly think that malware comes from visiting a web page or just viewing an email, when in fact, it really has to come from you downloading and installing an app. To get malware on a Mac, you have to go through at least 3 steps. You've got to download that software, you've got to run it, and then you're going to get asked permission at that point, and you have to approve it. For instance, you may get a simple dialog like this that's asking you whether or not you want to run this app. This is a safety measure to get you to look at what you're doing before you complete that step. Or if the app you downloaded is actually something that's going to install something else, then you're going to have to approve it there as well, usually using your password or Touch ID. So even if you made the mistake of downloading malware and you've made the further mistake of running it, it still has to go through this third step of approval from you before it actually does anything to your Mac. Most Mac users can avoid malware completely by simply following the rule of only getting software from Apple's App Store. And if you need to go outside the App Store to download some software directly from a developer or publisher, seek the advice of an expert if you're unsure about the app and the source of the download. Now, rule number 2 is very simple. Keep your Mac updated. Updates often include security fixes. Even if it doesn't say it includes a security fix, every time an app is updated, it uses the latest building blocks for that app, which often include security fixes deep down. There are 3 types of updates you should look for. One, of course, is macOS system updates, but there are also security updates as well. These are little installs that don't change the number and are only about security. In addition, it's important to remember that everything you run on your Mac should be updated as well. For updating macOS, you have this in System Settings, General, Software Update, and there are switches there that you could turn on to make it automatic. Also, in the App Store app, if you go to Settings, Automatic Updates, you can get automatic updates for the apps there, the ones you download from the App Store. For apps that you've downloaded from outside the App Store, a lot of them will have settings in them to look for or automatically install updates for those apps as well. Now, while rule number 1 is the most important and rule number 2 is pretty easy, rule number 3 actually takes some effort. You've got to have a good backup for your data. Even if something happens to your Mac, you don't really care about the operating system or any of your apps. It's easy to restore your Mac and get the apps back. The real thing of value that you have is your own data, your documents, the book you've been writing, the photos you've been taking, everything you've downloaded and want to save. The easiest way to back things up is to simply get an external hard drive, plug it in, and use Time Machine, the built-in backup software for macOS. You can also use an online backup, which is great because then your backup and the original aren't at the same location. And if you really want to do it right, have both. Note that iCloud Drive and iCloud Photos are not really a backup solution, but they're better than nothing. They won't protect you in a lot of situations, like if you change something or delete something. You can't usually go back and get what you've lost, like you can with Time Machine or a good online backup. But they are better than nothing. And if your situation doesn't allow you to use Time Machine or an online backup for whatever reason, at least having your data stored in iCloud offers a little bit of protection. If you find these videos valuable, consider joining the more than 3,000 others that support MacMost through Patreon. You get exclusive content, course discounts, and more. You can read about it at macmost.com/Patreon. So by following those 3 rules, you're pretty well protected against malware on your Mac. But you may still have some more questions. The biggest question I get is, do you need to install anti-malware software? And the answer is no, you don't need to install anything from any third party on your Mac. Why? Well, because you already have anti-malware software on your Mac. It's built into Mac OS. It just runs quietly, like it should. A lot of the third-party apps, they display all sorts of readouts and logs and everything because they need to justify their existence. They need to show you that they're doing something. macOS doesn't need to do that. So it just protects you against malware quietly in the background. So everybody using macOS is actually already using anti-malware software. It's just built in. In fact, installing a third-party anti-malware app could have downsides. I've seen plenty of cases where people's Macs have been slowed down by such apps. Also, they produce tons of false positives. They have to justify their existence, justify their subscription fee. So they're going to show you all sorts of things that are warnings or cautions that aren't really malware. And then historically, a lot of anti-malware apps have actually been malware themselves. I'm not saying they're all bad. I'm sure there's some that do a decent job, but you already have the protection you need with XProtect as part of macOS. And do note that you're going to see a lot of videos and read a lot of blog posts telling you to install one anti-malware app or another. But much of the time, the people telling you that are actually getting paid to push that product. Another common thing is for people to panic over something that's not malware. For instance, I often get people who are experiencing a bug or problem with their Mac, and they immediately jump to the conclusion that it's some kind of malware. So you can go to a web page, and a web page can display anything to you, including something that looks like a dialog box or a warning that's coming from your Mac instead of the web page. But it's just either an ad or some graphic overlaying the web page that's just trying to trick you into clicking or downloading something. Another thing people mistake for malware is when a web page asks you for permission to send you notifications. If you accidentally say yes to that, then you may start to get notifications, sometimes sending you warnings or making you think that you've got something installed in your Mac you should have. Like, for instance, I generated this example right here, and you could see I was able to make the notification say anything I wanted to. If you're seeing this kind of notification, just simply go to Safari, Settings, Websites, and look for notifications on the left, and you should find the offending website listed there and just deny it from sending you notifications like that in the future. If you use Chrome or Firefox, there are similar settings there as well. And sometimes people also install browser extensions, which are isolated to the browser, but they can do things like sending you to the wrong site after using a search engine or displaying ads where ads shouldn't be. So it's always good to check in your browser extensions, no matter which browser you're using, and see if there's anything there that you don't recognize or you don't need. Now, if you want to go beyond the 3 rules I mentioned earlier, the one thing you can do is stay informed. If a major threat were to come to macOS, the tech news sites are going to be all over it. They love it when something goes wrong in the Apple ecosystem. So you'll always find articles about it there. But a lot of times they're clickbait. So look for multiple sources for something and recognize when something really doesn't affect you. Like when there's some sort of malware out there, but you needed to go to a certain site and download a certain app. Now, one last thing. While protecting your Mac from malware is indeed very important, it's not the major threat out there right now. You should be far more concerned about social engineering and phishing, getting emails, text messages, even phone calls from people trying to trick you. That's a much more common threat today than malware. And of course, there are tons of other scams out there that you need to be worried about more than malware. So protect your Mac from malware, but also remember to protect yourself from these more common threats. Hope you found this useful. Thanks for watching. Want to know about
All good stuff. It's all
Yeah.
true.
Gary is really so clear. Are there any questions or comments on that video?
Yeah, I've got a comment. So this video got me curious about looking in privacy and security in my Mac settings. And because I remember at some point I had to lower my security settings somewhere in order to let some third-party thing function. And I don't remember exactly what that was or where that setting was. And I didn't just find it. But scrolling down through the items in privacy and security, the very last one says background security improvements. So I clicked on that out of curiosity, and it says, and there's an on-off switch which says automatically install. And then below it, it says available Mac OS 26.3.1A and an install button. Does anybody know what that is or what that option is there? Have you even noticed that such a thing exists?
No?
Did you try Googling it?
It might be something specific to your particular Mac.
I imagine 26.3.1 is what, the most recent
It is.
OS? Yeah. So,
But this is 1A.
yeah.
Yeah, it's an update. One of the things that I think people have to be careful of when they are updating things is being taken to a phony website like SourceForge. SourceForge, I've found, is very clever at disguising their web page to make you think you're downloading what you wanted, but you're really downloading something else. And I think it's just kind of scurrilous that they do that.
The Mac Update hasn't been the most reputable website for a long time.
But isn't SourceForge a developer website, a legitimate developer website where people put out
I always thought
Source-
so. I always thought so, but if you look carefully at their website, when you go to download a particular item, that it will lead you to something that's spurious.
I wonder if that's the people that are posting those items rather than the site itself.
I doubt it because it's into the site. I mean, it brings up a page. Somebody has to create that page for the website, and I don't think people would have access. As a developer hawking a piece of software, I don't think they'd have access to this underlying code.
A couple of the most common thing I've seen that I had to fix for people is still related to the phone. Something pops up on the screen, they get you to call on the phone, they hook you in, they go through, must be a really painful process of letting them download the software, install it, and allow them to take control of their computer. And at some point along the way, they realize it's a scam before they ask for money and give them the credit card. And this also still happens when people have a problem with their printer. Like, long-time 20-year member called me, couldn't get her, changed her Astound modem, so she had to she couldn't get her printer to work on Wi-Fi. So she Googled, forget what printer she had, Googled HP printer's phone number, and of course there's tons of fake ones. She called it, talked to them, they let them into the computer. Oh yeah, and they said, oh yeah, you got this problem, and okay, it's going to fix it. It's going to be X amount of money. At that point, she realized it was a scam and hung up. That's still the most common thing. It has really nothing to do with the computer. All they want to do is hook you in and get you on the phone. At that point, it's like a scam walking down the street. They got you hooked and they reel you in, try to get some money out of you.
Well, not only that, but if you contact them that way, they turn your contact information over to somebody else. So another scam artist wants to.
There's always a
pitch in.
worry that they got you to install software on your computer where they can get into your computer. Well,
Yeah.
they use common good software that you can use for free, like LogMeIn or TeamViewer or something that's legitimate software, but they can use it for nefarious purposes. So usually I got to go and say, well, I should look at it and see, get that out of there so they can't get back in or one. This other one, she was a knowledgeable computer person. So we just did it over the phone and found the parts and removed it.
Okay, well let's go ahead and move on to the next video.
One moment, I
Okay.
posted in the chat. I just looked on Apple's support page, and there was something there about with today's date of the 17th, about the A release. So it's in support.apple.com. It's legitimate looking.
So that makes sense. So since
It says release March 17th, 2026.
so I'm opted into downloading security updates,
Automatically.
it will probably just happen later like tonight or something.
Right. Just wanted to mention that.
Cool. Yeah.
Thank you, Bill.
One thing Gary mentioned about you not needing malware software, that Apple has it built in. And it's true, there's something called X-Protect that you don't see that's updated. And it's not the security updates that are released. They're invisible and they go way back beyond 3 versions. They go way back to like, they were doing El Capitan. I think they quit doing it. They at least are doing it for Mojave and Monterey. That's way back. And it happens every night. It goes and checks and downloads and installs these things and never tells you about it. If you turn your computer off and don't let it sleep, it won't get them. That's why you need to leave it. One reason you need to let your computer go to sleep, because it could do its maintenance in the middle of the night.
Will it do the maintenance if you just leave it running without sleeping?
Yes. It does it in the middle of the night.
Is
It
there a
does-
downside to leaving it on all the time?
Don't shut it down in the middle of the night. It can't do its housekeeping.
What about sleep? Is sleep shutting it down?
No, sleep is okay.
Okay.
It can still do all kinds of things. Run Time Machine, check for X-Protect updates. You can do all kinds of clean your log files, rotate them daily, weekly, monthly, log rotation, all kinds of things. Just let it go to sleep. That's the way it was designed.
Peter, I would say there's no downside to leaving your computer running all the time. That's what I do. Restart it occasionally just to flush, let stuff, clear out. But unless I'm going away on vacation or something, going to be away from my computer for days, I leave it running always.
Yeah,
Thank
your
you,
Mac
Vincent.
runs on the Unix kernel. That was never designed to be turned off. It's made to be a 24/7, never-ending, never reboot computer like that.
Because there are all these Unix maintenance
It does it in
activities that run every night, right?
there are maintenance scripts. There's tools that will let you run the maintenance scripts now on demand. There's weekly, daily, and monthly rotating scripts that clear out the old ones and rebuild them and all that stuff.
Okay.
Apparently Gary's not a fan of Malwarebytes.
Malwarebytes, for many years ago at the clinic, everybody who came in, we started running Malwarebytes, and they all had malware, and some of them were infested with it and slowing the computer down. And for years now, I never see that anymore, except for 1 month or 2 ago, somebody came to the clinic and they had a computer that was almost 10 years old, and they'd never upgraded from the day it was bought. So it was running Mac OS 10 years old, and it was completely infested with malware to the point of almost not running. We ran Malwarebytes and it found all that stuff, just like it did many, many years ago. But it's been running all these years like that,
I
infested.
haven't found anything on either Mac running Malwarebytes.
Gotta be patient. Yeah. Just go.
Yeah, Malwarebytes not really find anything for me anymore on anybody's computer.
I still
Let's
run it
move on.
occasionally.
Yeah, it's okay to run, but don't pay for it and have it run automatically. It just slows your machine
No.
down. It's a waste.
Yeah.
Can we
Okay, well,
move
let's go
Okay,
ahead and
let's move
move
forward,
on. And if anybody wants to continue this line of questions, let's do it in Q&A. But moving on, let's see, moving on from that, you need to go the right way.
Hi, this is Gary with MacMost.
Okay. The next video that I have relates to finding your car after you've parked it and walked away from it for a while. Now, for many of you, that might be sort of, well, why is that necessary? Because you park your car, you remember where it is, and that's never at fault. But I have very poor visual memory. And so I, for one, do need some help there. And there might be others, I assume there are, that do. So let's go ahead and this is a 2-minute video.
Right now we're seeing a white screen. I don't know if it'll rectify as you run it.
It's the beginning frame of the video, so that's why you see it. So here we go.
Parking Made Easy, a step-by-step guide to finding your parked car with your iPhone. Have you ever struggled to find your parked car in a crowded parking lot or unfamiliar area? Fear not. Your iPhone comes equipped with a built-in feature that can help you locate your vehicle. Step 1. Enable location services. First, you need to enable location services on your iPhone. Simply go to Settings, then Privacy, and tap on Location Services. Make sure the toggle switch is turned on. Step 2. Enable Show Parked Location. After enabling your location services, go to the Settings app and tap on Maps. Toggle on the option Show Parked Location. This will allow your iPhone to display the location of your parked car on the Maps app. Step 3. Connect to your car's Bluetooth. Next, connect your iPhone to your car's Bluetooth system. This will allow your iPhone to automatically detect when you've parked and save your location. Step 4. Your car's location is automatically saved. Once your iPhone is connected to your car's Bluetooth, it will automatically mark the location of your car when you disconnect from the Bluetooth. This is your parked car's location. Step 5. Find your parked car. When you're ready to find your parked car, open the Maps app and tap on the search bar. You should see a parked car icon on the map, which represents your parking spot. Tap on the parked car icon and select directions. The Maps app will now provide you with turn-by-turn directions to your car's location. Using the park location feature on your iPhone is an easy and convenient way to find your parked car. Say goodbye to the frustration of searching in a crowded parking lot. Happy parking.
Have any of you used this feature?
I have it turned off, but it pops up from time to time anyway.
I use it all the
tried,
time.
I've tried to use it at times, but somehow her instructions went by so quickly. I don't think I have it set up properly.
Yeah, Dick, I recommend you review the video later at your convenience.
Yeah.
You can,
I've used it, but
use-
you can also. I've used it. You can also just say, "Hey Siri, remember where I parked my car," and walk away. Because the one she did talked about hooking up to the Bluetooth in your car. If your car doesn't have Bluetooth, I mean, if you're driving an older car, doesn't have Bluetooth, doesn't have CarPlay or whatever, then those instructions are nice, but they're not going to work. But you can always just get out and say, "Hey Siri, remember where I parked my car," and then when you come out, go, "Siri, where's my car?" and it'll give you directions.
Or you could also just say,
does Siri have the coordinates as close as the?
Well, I don't know if it's good enough for a drone strike, but it's good enough to get to your car.
I wonder how it works in an underground parking facility.
Yeah, like in
Yeah.
the first shot of that video.
Yeah, maybe the thing is, just take a snapshot of the floor level, so at least you get to the floor. I don't know.
Yeah.
So
My-
I think it would probably work to just say, Siri, drop a pin here.
Exactly, that too. You know, there's 2 or 3 different ways to do that.
Uh-huh. Thank you.
My previous car had Bluetooth. The current car we have doesn't. And so I no longer have access to this feature.
Yeah,
It
but
requires
like you said,
it requires Bluetooth in your car to be accurate.
I have a
Well,
28.
Found just the Maps application that helps.
that's what we're just saying. Just use the map application, drop a pin, or say, "Remember where my car is."
Well,
But how do you drop a pin?
Drop
Just
a
say,
pin,
Siri,
Bill,
drop a pin.
or-
You can
Drop
do
a
Siri
pin.
drop a pin, or open up Maps and let's see, tap the
The thing
screen right near that little pulsing blue dot, and it'll say, "Do you want to drop a pin or something?" And then you go, "Yep," and then that's it.
The thing about pairing it with Bluetooth to your car is it's automatic. You don't have to remember to do it. You just get out and you
Right.
say, "Oh, where was my car? I forgot to drop a pin." Well, if you have Bluetooth paired, it does it automatically every time you leave your car.
Exactly. But
I wonder if
that's
it's,
as soon as you have Bluetooth.
Right.
I
If you
wonder if
don't,
it's
then you
pos-
gotta manually do it when you leave
Drop
the
a
car.
pin.
Yeah.
I wonder if it's possible to connect to the car's Bluetooth without connecting your phone to the car's audio system. Because my 2018 Toyota doesn't have CarPlay, and when I connected it to Bluetooth, I mean to the car, phone calls would switch randomly from my headset to the car's audio system in the middle of a conversation, which sucked. So I just totally disconnected the phone from Bluetooth. It would be nice to have this feature.
Okay, well, let's go ahead and move on to.
Can I mention one low-tech thing? My car
Yes.
remote has a honk horn thing. If you're outdoors, that's fine for an outdoor parking lot. Not always helpful indoors.
Kind of loud if you're in your garage, yeah.
And if you're in your garage and you can't find your car,
Hey, we've all had those nights. Please don't judge.
I have another answer regarding some people that don't have Bluetooth in their cars. You can buy yourself a little adapter that you can put in, a Bluetooth adapter that you put into a power outlet, and it turns on Bluetooth, and you can pair your phone to that Bluetooth. And from that point on, you have Bluetooth in your car that doesn't have, natively
Right.
Bluetooth.
You don't have to use it for anything. It's just as soon as it loses the Bluetooth signal to the car, then it automatically remembers. You don't have to do anything.
Could you say it again? Could you say that again, Bruce? I didn't quite catch it.
It's an adapter that you plug into your power outlet in one of your power outlets in your car. Adapter with a Bluetooth. It's a Bluetooth adapter. And you plug that in and it turns on and you pair your phone to it. Your phone picks it up and that's your Bluetooth.
well, why not use an Apple Tag? I have an Apple Tag in my car too.
An
Yeah.
Apple what? Jan, you have an Apple what in your car?
One of those little tags that you can
that's
locate.
that's a good idea too. I like that idea.
AirTag.
Just keep an AirTag in the car.
Oh, an AirTag?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
Okay.
might work.
Sorry, my ears weren't working. I couldn't understand what she was saying.
I didn't say AirTag.
Well, that would explain some of it.
That's
Well,
what
you
she
did
meant.
say tag, so. But anyway,
Okay.
yeah, there's multiple ways to get around it. Matter of fact, that little Bluetooth adapter in my older car, my other car that I had, didn't have Bluetooth, and actually you can tune that Bluetooth to a FM station, FM frequency that's not being used in your neighborhood or your state. Most likely that you want to do that too. And from that point on, you can get whatever, play anything through it, and it'll go through your speakers in your car.
Oh,
So
Let's move on.
that's got to be cheaper than the deck I put in for AirPlay.
oh, I don't know about that, but that's what I did.
Trust me.
And, you know,
Okay.
yeah, that costs a lot of money probably.
Let's go ahead and move on, guys. This next video is, and here we go, is on how to upgrade and manage your iCloud storage on your iPhone.
If your iCloud storage is running low, there are a few ways you can make room. We'll show you how to upgrade your iCloud or iCloud Plus storage plan and share some tips for managing your space with personalized recommendations in iCloud settings. Let's first learn how to get more storage space by upgrading your iCloud plan. Starting in Settings, tap your name, and then tap iCloud. If you already have an iCloud Plus storage plan, you can also adjust it in Subscriptions. The storage bar shows how much space you're using and how much you still have available. For a detailed breakdown of how much space each app uses, tap Storage. App names and percentages will appear along with a color-coded storage bar. To subscribe to iCloud Plus, tap Get More Storage. If you already have a storage plan, it will read Change Storage Plan. Select the tier option that best fits your needs and follow the prompts to complete the process. Now, we'll show you some tips for managing your existing iCloud storage by deleting files and documents you no longer need. When you delete something in iCloud, it's deleted across all your synced devices. Before you start, Be sure to make a copy, either on your computer or an external hard drive, of anything you plan on deleting in iCloud but want to save. You can also review content within each app before you delete anything. In your iCloud storage settings, apps and services using iCloud are listed by the amount of space they take up. The ones using the most storage are listed in their own section. For example, on our iPhone, it's iCloud Photos, Messages, Backups, and iCloud Drive. You can tap some apps to get personalized recommendations for managing your storage space. We'll start by tapping iCloud Photos. You can tap Review Photos and Videos to quickly and easily manage larger photos and videos based on personalized recommendations for how to get back the most space. When you're finished, tap Back. For apps like Messages, you can make more space available by deleting texts and attachments, like photos, videos, and files that you don't need anymore directly in the app. Now we'll review your devices backed up to iCloud by tapping Backups. Your Apple devices are listed by the amount of space they use. If you tap a device, you can manage which apps are backed up in iCloud, or turn off iCloud Backup and delete all of your device's backups stored in iCloud. You can also delete backups you no longer need, or after saving copies of the data outside of iCloud. Tap Back when you're finished. And finally, let's tap iCloud Drive. You can review and delete files and documents you no longer need in the Files app by tapping Review Files. When you're done, tap Back. And that's it. With more room, you can add more photos, videos, documents, and anything else you need.
Okay. Any questions or comments?
Why are you shaking your head, Bill?
I'm having other technical issues right now. They're not related to the video.
Okay, let's move on to the next one. This is by Ellen Sweeney, and it's on organizing your iPhone files, which can be stressful, but Ellen has a method. Whoop. Wrong direction.
Your iCloud
Sorry
storage.
about that. Here we go.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back.
Jeez.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Ellen's Tips for iOS. Last week, we discussed how to scan a document into the Files app. And today, if you've ever opened the Files app on your iPhone or iPad and thought, where did all this stuff come from? You're not alone. Today, I'm going to show you simple, easy ways to keep the Files app neat and organized so you can actually find what you need when you need it. No tech talk, no stress, just a few helpful tips. Let's get started. Remember, we want to think of the Files app as a filing cabinet for your iPhone or iPad. This is where things like PDFs, documents, receipts, downloads, and attachments from email often end up. It gets messy because files can come from many different places, and most of us were never really shown how to organize them. When you open the Files app, so I have it located right here on my home screen, but if you don't see your Files app, swipe to the left to come into the app library and begin typing Files. You'll see it, go ahead and open it. If you don't see it in your app library, it may mean that you need to download it from the App Store, so go to the App Store, search for Files app, make sure it's from Apple, and download it. Once you do that, tap Browse at the bottom of the screen. You come into your documents, tap Browse one more time. And when you do, you'll see things like on my iPhone or on my iPad. You'll see iCloud Drive and possibly other services if you have them, like Dropbox. And I also have DevonThink. I recommend keeping most of your personal files in iCloud Drive so they're backed up and available on all your devices. Folders are the secret to staying organized, and you only need a few. So I'm going to tap on iCloud Drive, and now you'll see some of the folders that I have created. But if you want to create a folder, you're going to tap on the three dots in the upper right corner, and you're going to select New Folder. Once you do, you'll see a folder is created, and you give it a name. When you create your folder, you want to give it clear everyday names like medical, bills, travel, manual, photos, taxes. Don't overthink this. If you can understand the name, it's the right folder. So in this case, let me just give this folder a name, and I'm just going to call it personal. And then I'm going to tap the check mark at the bottom. And now you'll see that that personal folder has been created. Now that we've created a folder called personal, let's move some files or documents into that folder. I'm going to choose recent at the bottom so I can see a selection of the files that I have. I'm going to tap on the three dots in the upper right corner, and then I'm going to choose select. I can select as many of these as I want to. I'm just going to select a few. Once I do that, I'm going to push and hold on any one of these, and you're going to see a pop-up window appears with move at the top. I'm going to select move. And once I do, I'll come back into the iCloud Drive area. I'll tap on personal. Once I do that, let me open it. I'll tap on move. And now if I come back to the browse area and choose the personal folder, the files that I selected have been now moved into that folder, and that's it. So you can move more than one file at a time, and it's great for cleaning up quickly. Many files might come with names like scan39483.pdf, which tells us nothing. So you can rename a file. So all you have to do is push and hold on the file, locate rename, type in the name that you want it to be so it's, a clear name. So maybe like a doctor visit May 2026 or electric bill January. You can choose whatever name you want. And this way, anything that you put in, you'll recognize quickly and clearly. If you no longer need a file, it's okay to let it go. You can go ahead and trash that document. So you can either push and hold on the document and then scroll down and tap delete. Or if there are a bunch of documents, you can click on the three dots in the upper right corner, choose select the files that you want to get rid of, then push and hold on them. The pop-up window will appear. Tap on delete, and then it's going to ask you to verify to make sure that you want to delete this. Go ahead and tap delete. And don't worry, this won't harm your iPhone or iPad. It just clears clutter. And if you delete something by mistake, go ahead and tap on browse. Make sure that you tap on it again to get back to the browse area, the main window. Scroll down until you see recently deleted. And then if there are any files here that you've deleted by mistake, go ahead and push and hold on that file and then tap on recover, and it will be returned to the previous area where it was. If there's a folder you use often, press and hold on it and tap favorite. So if I'm going to come in and I'm just going to go to my pickleball videos, I'm going to push and hold on it, and then I'm going to scroll down until I see favorite. I'll tap on that. And you should see that folder has been moved to the very top. So this way there's no digging required. All of your favorite folders will remain at the top of the screen for easy access. Here are a few easy habits that make a big difference. Put new files into a folder right away. Rename important documents. Delete files you no longer need, and keep your folder list short and simple. A little maintenance goes a long way. The Files app doesn't have to be confusing or overwhelming. With just a few folders and simple names, you can turn it into a tool that actually helps you. If you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you next time.
So you can also do all this stuff but using the iPhone mirroring app. So you can do them in the Files app on your iPhone, on your Mac, where you can use your mouse and keyboard. Which to me would be a lot easier.
That's true. It's easier to manage that on the way easier on the Mac.
Well, how do you get to the Files app on the phone from the Mac?
There's an app called iPhone Mirroring.
Oh.
That I believe exists as part of the operating system. So you launch that, you connect to your phone, and then you have your phone on your Mac screen, and you can do all the stuff that she just showed. You could, open the Files app and do all the stuff, but doing it
I wouldn't do that. But what I mean by use the Mac is iCloud Drive equals the files folder on your phone. So just go to iCloud Drive. Your documents and your stuff is there. You can, or it just mirrors all that stuff. You can just do it in the Mac, or you can open
if it's on iCloud Drive.
Well,
the other
I don't
thing
know. Go ahead.
The other thing she didn't show was folder customization, which they finally fixed in a newer iOS and macOS 26, where the colors and icons are across all platforms.
Typically, the point of having the files on your phone and your iPad is to turn on iCloud Drive, Documents, and Desktop and have them sync to your Mac, so all your files are available and all the same everywhere you go.
Except for files you don't want.
Well, the way I do it is...
you can have some privacy not sharing that.
No, well, that's the way I do it. Anne says she does that. Rick does that. I don't sync documents in Desktop. In iCloud Drive, I make a folder called iCloud Documents, and I put this stuff, almost everything in there, except the stuff that I don't want to go to the cloud and private stuff. And then you don't have to do all the clutter on your desktop, and that way it works just fine.
Wait, could you go through that again? What do you sync it to somewhere else?
No, you don't. When you have iCloud Drive turned on all your devices, it syncs anything that's in that folder. On the Mac, you have the option to turn on one checkbox controls everything. Documents and Desktop is one checkbox. You don't get any choice about anything that's on your desktop or your documents folder. It just does the whole thing. You can't opt out. What you can do instead of doing that is make a folder inside of iCloud Documents, name it whatever you want, multiple folders if you want, and put the stuff that you want to go in there, and you don't have to do everything on your desktop. You don't have to do anything on your desktop if you don't want. Now you have control. You can do whatever you want, which is typically... I do everything except stuff I don't want to do, which is very few private stuff. I just do it all, but I don't want to do it. I want to have the choice of not doing things. Anne does that. Rick does that.
Okay, well, let's go ahead and move on to the next video and topic. This one's by Trevor Nace. Warning us about potential damage from our iPhone battery. So, yeah, that sounds a little dicey. Let's see what he has to say.
You might not realize it, but you're probably damaging your iPhone's battery without even knowing about it. Let's check your battery statistics and walk through a couple different tips that you can take to help prolong your battery's life and make sure you're not making those mistakes that will kill your battery. Now, let's first just head into the Settings app on your iPhone. And from here, let's tap on Battery and then towards the bottom, Battery Health. This will get you an idea of where you're starting at today. Keep in mind, when you first buy a new iPhone, it'll say cycle count is 0, aka you haven't fully drained the battery and recharged it at all. And over time, as you use it, that cycle count will go up. You can see my iPhone is about a year old, and you can see the cycle count is 365, aka how many times I drain the battery all the way down and then all the way back up. Keep in mind that can be over a couple different days. Now, the next thing you look at is maximum capacity here. You can see mine is at 92%. Over time, it will go from 100% down, and it should stabilize right around 80% if you have an older iPhone. However, on here, you'll see a few different options if you go back to be able to control how your iPhone manages your battery to help prolong the battery life. The first thing that we need to do is make sure that your iPhone battery stays in the comfort zone. And that comfort zone is about 32 degrees Fahrenheit to 95 degrees Fahrenheit, or you can see here the Celsius, 0 to 35 degrees Celsius. Keep in mind, that's essentially the temperature range that your iPhone should stay at so that it doesn't permanently degrade your battery. If it does get above the 95 degrees, aka you leave your iPhone in a car during the summer and it gets up to 120 degrees, that will permanently degrade your iPhone battery just in that one instance of that happening. So keep in mind, always have your iPhone with you, always keep it in a cool place or a temperature controlled place. The second thing we'll want to do is to make sure that your iPhone battery isn't constantly being strained on the outer limits of your iPhone battery's capacity. Now let's go back into your settings, and you can see if I go to charging, a new feature is called charge limit. Instead of charging your iPhone battery up to 100%, you have the ability to charge it to 90%. Or even all the way down to 80%. And you might be wondering, why would I want to do that? Why would I want to intentionally limit the functionality of my iPhone battery down to 80%, losing 20% of the capability? And the reason for that is the scientific aging of your iPhone's battery. So as you basically go through the process of draining your iPhone battery down to 0%, and then charging it back up to 80%, that puts a lot of strain and stress on your iPhone's battery. You can see reduces chemical aging if you keep it within 20 and 80%. Under most stress, basically when it gets up to 100%, it increases the temperature on your iPhone battery and increases the strain, sort of like a rubber band. If you were to pull that rubber band as far as it goes every single time, over time, you would degrade that rubber band, same as you would a battery, and it just wouldn't charge as well. So what they recommend is keep it at 20 to 80%. Essentially, this is the sweet spot of any lithium-ion battery. So if you keep your charging limit to 80%, and then you don't let your iPhone go below 20%, and you keep it within that 20 to 80%, you'll see a significant boost in your iPhone's battery longevity over time. So keep in mind, of course, that day you have more of a limited functionality. Essentially, you're only at 60% of your iPhone's battery capacity, between 20 and 80%, but it will increase the longevity of it if you keep to have your iPhone, if you plan to have your iPhone years and years. Now, the last thing that you can do if your iPhone battery does degrade, maybe you've already necessarily used it for a number of years and it's already down and degraded and it's just not lasting throughout the day. Keep in mind, Apple has reduced the cost of the iPhone battery replacement. You can see now it's $69 or $99, depending on which iPhone you have. So iPhone 14, 15, 16, it's $99. Older ones you can see are $69. So essentially, for a minimal cost, you can upgrade your iPhone's battery without having to spend $1,000 on a brand new iPhone just because the battery was the initial issue. So if you do find that the battery is degrading, I would highly recommend just taking it into an Apple or authorized retailer and just having them replace that battery.
I recently adjusted that setting and turned mine down from 100% to 90% since I never use up my whole battery.
Mm-hmm. Jan?
I kind of lost him on that. How did he do that?
It's in settings, battery, and there's a setting in there called charging. And in charging, you'll see there's something called charge limit, which is a slider that can go anywhere between 100% and 80%.
Oh, okay.
Jan?
Okay, I'm assuming this is similar for the Apple Watch, but I use the watch for sleep, so I don't always get it to 80%. I charge it maybe a little bit in the morning, a little bit in the afternoon when I have time, if I'm taking a shower or whatever. Is there any harm in charging it in little bits rather than all at once?
No, I wear my Apple Watch at night too, and I generally try to remember to charge it just before I go to sleep.
Yeah, I do too. I try to remember, but sometimes it's kind of low in the morning and it makes me uneasy, so I'll charge again.
Well, I think that's fine. For what he's saying, that might even be preferable. Although I noticed, so I have Apple Care on my watch, and the battery percentage was going down. And with one of the recent, like maybe 6 months ago, updates, it went higher. Like they had refigured the battery health to have more headroom before they have to replace the battery. I was kind of thinking, that's kind of a jip.
So I have a question. What
Yes.
makes the battery indicate to you if the battery is getting bad? Is that the maximum charging capacity?
Yes, it's they call it battery health, which is the percentage of the original battery capacity that they calculate is still left.
Where is that?
It's
Battery health and
battery health.
charging.
Battery health, you click on where right now it says normal. I click on that and it shows me a percentage. It says maximum capacity 89%. So I can count 309 when the battery was made and when it was first used.
Mine's 89% too. Is that good or is it falling apart?
Yeah, there's the cutoff.
I think Apple will replace the battery when it falls below 80%. If you have Apple Care.
Yeah, and I'm at 83.
Yeah. Mine has been showing 81% for years.
Really?
I don't think it's going to go below. It's not going to show that it's going below.
Oh, does it hold a charge very well?
I charge it. I occasionally forget about it and let it charge all night, and I understand that's not good, but sometimes.
Why is that not good? It'll regulate itself. It'll stop charging when it's done.
I would think so, but at one of the other meetings a long time ago, it was said that I'm goofing up, I'm ruining my battery by overcharging it.
Yeah, I think that's obsolete information. I think
it's a long time ago.
So
you can always set it to optimize battery charging.
Well, I don't have an optimized battery charging.
Yeah, you do.
Yes, you do.
Setting.
It's further down under battery health.
You can also increase battery life by using a low power charger rather than a high power charger.
Oh, I have optimized battery charging on all the time.
Okay.
And you're good.
So
Yeah.
then it doesn't, what optimized battery charging does is it doesn't start charge, or it charges only to about 80% and then stops until when it thinks you're going to unplug it next, and then it charges it the rest of the way if you have it set to charge to 100%.
Yeah, I'm using a 7.5 watt charger rather than a 20 watt. Because the battery doesn't get as hot, so it lasts longer.
Yeah.
That's
to.
pretty much the rule of any battery. The faster you charge it, the harder it is on the life. The slower you can charge it, the better.
And Jan, you should set your watch to optimize battery charging also.
I have the watches are both set that way.
That's probably on
Oh
by
no,
default.
when I want to go to charge my watch, I want it to charge as fast as possible because it's not on the charger long. And I want it ready. I want it 100% when I'm ready to go to bed.
I'm still charging it overnight on a 5 watt charger.
I'm not seeing optimize. Where is that?
It's in battery health.
Oh, is there?
Okay,
No,
well,
in the watch, it's just under battery.
Yeah, I'm wrong. I was wrong. It's not under battery health.
Can we?
Mine's under battery health.
Is it?
Yep.
Oh, I think
Battery health
if
and
you have
charging.
it set to charge to less than 100%, then you don't get the option for optimized.
Oh,
Okay. Well, if there are more questions about charging and charging your Apple Watch,
wait, I have a question. I can never read or tell what wattage the chargers are, and it's so hard to see, and I don't know what to look for anyway.
Are you talking about your Apple Watch charger?
Well, I was thinking more of the computer, but any of them.
The Apple Watch charger, the charger that has the shiny circle around the edges is the lower power charger. The one that has the brush finish is the higher power charger.
Thank you.
Go ahead, Carol.
I have an SE, and under battery, I have, several things, battery health, battery, and then under that it says battery percenta, and I can't read what the rest of it is. Maybe is it because my text? Okay, I'll make my text smaller.
Yeah.
So I can read it.
Oh, by the way, Jan, it's all dependent on what you use for a charging brick.
What do I use for a charging what?
Charging brick. The charger itself.
Oh.
Charger.
Wall.
Oh, right. Where else would you see it?
Well, you see it on the disc that the watch magnetically attaches to. The one with the shiny finish.
Oh, it's on there.
One fast charge. The other one will do both, depending on what you use for a charging brick.
Okay, let's move on to the next video. And it has to do with the new M5 MacBook Air. 9to5Mac says it's not just an upgrade, but here's what Apple didn't tell you. So let's find out what they didn't tell us.
Well, everyone, Apple Week continues, and they released a few more products here, starting off with the Studio Display XDR, as well as the M5 Pro and M5 Max MacBook Pros. But in this video, we'll be talking about the brand new M5 MacBook Air, but more importantly, not only all the updates that came with it, which are great updates for the MacBook Air, but ultimately what this release could mean for the brand new regular MacBook, which should be coming out on Wednesday, tomorrow. So without further ado, let's talk all things M5 MacBook Air and what it means for the future of the MacBook lineup. Let's get into it. But now, before we continue, if you do enjoy up-to-date videos like this one where we cover all things Apple, they're a lot of hard work, so subscribe to the channel and helping us get to 1 million subscribers would mean a lot. But now let's talk about all the improvements they made from M4 to M5 on the MacBook Air. So, as I mentioned, on paper, there's a lot to like about this update on the M5 MacBook Air. For instance, the new M5 chip is a fantastic upgrade from the M4 to the M5, giving you a 10-core CPU and up to a 10-core GPU with some neural accelerators in each GPU core. I've actually been using the M5 MacBook Pro, the regular M5 chip, and it's been wonderful in my day-to-day use, especially when using it with Final Cut Pro while editing these videos. So the M5 MacBook Air should give you the same amount of power and speed, maybe a little bit less because there isn't a fan, but again, an M5 chip is going to be ultra efficient in the small and light form factor. One of the cool things here is that it goes from 256 gigs of starting storage to now 512 gigs of starting storage, which again, on paper is awesome. But if you start to go all the way to the bottom of the page, you'll see that Apple increased the starting price from $999 to $1099 for the 13-inch M5 MacBook Air, which is something that I really didn't see coming. So again, they did up the price $100, but you are getting double the storage, which technically is cheaper than the M4 512 gigabyte MacBook Air. So again, I'm not sure how people are going to feel about this, but just know it's going to be $100 more expensive. The storage is configurable up to 4 terabytes of total storage, which is great to see, and those SSDs are 2 times faster than they were with the previous generation. You also get Wi-Fi 7, Bluetooth 6 via the new N1 chip, so great updates there to give you faster speeds, more reliable connectivity, and farther distances when you are connected to your Wi-Fi and Bluetooth capable devices. And of course, it's still a fanless, lightweight, and easy to bring around design. You get the 13-inch and the 15-inch variant, and you still get the same beautiful colors with the sky blue, midnight, starlight, and silver colors. But I do want to quickly run down some of the improvements of that M5 chip. So for example, that 10-core CPU is Apple's fastest CPU core to date, giving you enhanced shader cores, 3rd-gen ray tracing engines, which is great to see, and then 153 gigabyte per second memory bandwidth, which is about 28% faster than the M4 chip. Again, it depends on who you are if you're going to be using that upper echelon of that 28% improvement. But these year-over-year improvements aren't made for people upgrading year-over-year. It's made for the person coming from the N1 chip. It's made for the person that's still holding on to their Intel MacBook Air, but you'll see improvements nonetheless. But Apple's big point here is all about Apple Intelligence, AI, and LLMs when it comes to these new chipsets. That is what they're built for. So they're built to go up to 4 times faster with AI tasks. Exactly what that means from a practical standpoint remains yet to be seen, but we'll definitely do some testing to see exactly what those scenarios look like. And of course, I'm curious to know what Apple does from an Apple Intelligence standpoint, because we're now basically 2 years waiting for a real announcement on what Apple Intelligence can do for us practically, aside from just giving us image playgrounds and kind of proofreading our documents in the Notes application. I do think that the big internal improvement here has to be the N1 chip. Of course, going from 256 to 512 is great, but now the ability to have Wi-Fi 7, Bluetooth 6, improved reliability, lower latency, and you also just future-proofing yourself that much more is a big one for that N1 chip. I really wish that the N1 chip also included maybe the C1X modem to maybe get data connectivity, but a man can dream. And then from an I/O perspective, you're still getting the same 2 Thunderbolt 4 ports, which is great for data connectivity as well as charging and things like that. Again, because this is a MacBook Air and it is at $1,100 price point, I didn't think it would get Thunderbolt 5. It would have been nice, but it still remains with Thunderbolt 4. And you get support for 2 external displays. The design itself is going to remain exactly the same. You have the same exact display, the same brightness, the same color gamut, the same desk view support, the same center stage camera, the same colors, the same notch, the same 18-hour battery life, the same MagSafe charger, the same auxiliary cable. So again, from a visual standpoint, if you hold these 2 laptops side by side, even if you hold the M5 MacBook Air next to the M2 MacBook Air side by side, they're going to look identical at the end of the day. So now one of the key takeaways about this announcement is that Apple did increase the price $100. And we've been getting a lot of rumors recently that tomorrow, Wednesday, on March 4th, Apple will be releasing a new low-cost MacBook. And people have been thinking about what the price point could be. Is it $599? Is it $699? How low can they bring that price point down to make sure that people go to that one as opposed to getting the MacBook Air? But also they don't want to cannibalize iPad Air sales and iPad sales, and they don't want to give away macOS for that cheap. But now this kind of puts a stake in the ground with the fact that Apple did increase the price from $999 to $1099, meaning that the new entry point, in my opinion, for that low-cost MacBook Air is actually going to be closer to $799. I really hope that I'm wrong, but again, seeing that price increase $100 now gives Apple the ability to then increase the price of the supposed $599 MacBook to maybe $699 and ultimately $799 as a starting price for the new low-cost MacBook that hopefully has data connectivity. But that is just my 2 cents on what that could mean moving forward. But we'll find out in the next 24 hours or so what Apple's going to be doing with this new low-cost MacBook, which I think is called codename Neo, according to some reports that we've seen, that Apple accidentally already leaked that information with the Studio Display announcement. But now going back to the M5 MacBook Air, it will be available to pre-order on March 4th at 6:15, which is an interesting time for this. And also it will be available on March 11th in stores and all the pre-orders will arrive. So let me know in the comment down below what you think. Are you in the market for a new MacBook Air? In my opinion, this is for the people that are still stuck on the M1 MacBook Air. This would be such a substantial upgrade if you went from the old chassis, the old design from the M1 MacBook Air, which is still a great laptop in its own right, all the way up to a 5-generation jump to the M5 MacBook Air. The M1 came out in 2020. This is now 2026. So a 6-year difference is going to be a nice substantial upgrade. If you have the M4 MacBook Air, skip this one for now. M3, skip that one. Maybe even the M2 you could still hold on to. For instance, my dad still has the M2 and it still works amazingly for him. So it'll just depend on your situation, whether the M5 MacBook Air is a worthy upgrade for you. But let me know in the comment down below what you think. Are you excited for it? Are you going to get one? Are you upset about the $100 price increase? But again, it's kind of justifiable with the increase in storage. To each their own. But if you made it to the end, leave a dolphin in the comments down below. And if you want to watch more videos like this one, check out one of these videos right here. And until next time, I'm Fernando. Peace, everyone. Don't forget to subscribe for the continued coverage.
Well, I wish he'd talk faster.
Yeah.
He could have said a lot more if he just speed up his.
I kept up with every word.
Yeah.
Clear enunciation facilitates analysis.
I think that was AI, wasn't it?
I didn't like his mustache.
No.
So from what I understand, the M5 chip is considerably optimized for on-device large language model AI over the previous M chips.
Yeah, they have something that they had to explain. I think the third core. I forget what they're called. It's not the CPU or the GPU. There's some other super core or something. Only on the Pro. Only on the. I think it might be only on the Pros.
Neural engine.
Yeah. It may be only on the. It might be only on the Pro chips too.
Are they saying to do on-device LLM, or was it going to be downgraded to?
Well, I read a story that there's actually a shortage of Mac Minis because companies are buying them to install for AI servers, maxed out versions. And so one of the companies is even pre-installing the software on. They'll sell you the hardware with their software already installed to run the server, not running Mac OS.
Okay.
I forget which one of them is. It was one of the major ones.
Well, we're running a little bit late here. I'm going to skip over a 1-minute Apple support item and just finish up with Gary Rosenweitz, who in less than half a minute shows you how to calculate your tip and even split a bill using your Apple Watch. I have an Apple Watch and I didn't even realize I could do that. So I found that fascinating. Here it is in about 30 seconds. Oh, that's not
Want
it.
to add a document to a
Sorry,
note?
that's the one we're skipping. Here we go.
Here's a handy feature of the Apple Watch Calculator app that a lot of people don't know about. So go into the Calculator app. Let's say you want to calculate the tip on a meal. Type in the total price of the bill and then tap that tip button. Now you've got a 20% tip calculated for you. Turn the crown to adjust the tip amount. Then to split the bill, tap people and then turn the crown to adjust the number of people in your group.
That's interesting.
That was short. Gary has it. You can tell when people that shorts is the new thing to do, and when you do them, they're always vertical. Everybody's doing them.
It's true, but we're used to Gary running 7, 8, 12 minutes or something. So that was kind of fun. But I would pull out my iPhone and use the calculator on it, to figure out a tip thing. And
I don't base the
right
tip on the
watch.
total amount. I do pre-tax.
Right. When
they do
Me
it,
too.
I think we should probably move on though, so there'll be time for Q&A. So
Yeah, it's 4:30 already.
yeah, so
What
I'm
happened to your
gonna
36-minute video turned into 90 minutes?
well, right, it
Yeah.
did. We had a lot of comments and a lot of good questions, so there you go.
I like it.
Yeah, so
Good
I'm
job.
stopping the share.
So I do have a question about, so let me make it a Q&A. So I don't see that same face in my calculator app that he showed. Mine has a lot smaller numbers, harder to see. Or harder to press the buttons.
Are we open for regular questions?
Yes.
Oh, wait a minute. I got to start a recording. We're done with everything about the presentation. We can end. And you can stop you already stopped your share, right? Okay.
Yeah, I stopped the share.
All right. So we'll end this recording. DVMUG members know that they can find the next Q&A video on the BBS. And we'll start a new one. Stop.